Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night Podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Roy Kennedy, and with me, as always, is Matt.
Hello.
And Rob.
That's what I love about him. On fire.
Matt's got so much
up?
energy, man. I don't know how you keep it all contained.
Well, a lot of apathy. Depression also does a good amount of the work. Yeah.
Yay. Liz in chat saying, hey. Somebody give us some nice words for Matt tonight. Now, anyway, today we're going to be talking about our trip down to Florida and some different news and what we've been playing. So all sorts of news on the docket here. The first thing I want to talk about is Recon is a convention that I'm helping put together, and it's going to be here in North Carolina in Kernersville. So if you're in the North Carolina area, make sure to check out Recon. I've posted it on our Facebook and on my personal Facebook, so make sure to check that out. I'm going to take a ton of games from my personal collection to be a part of the library, and we had one of these back in, was it November? It was something like that. It was a while back. And it was a whole bunch of fun. We had I think 80 some people showed up. So we're mixing this together with Mini Mace, which is a convention that's in the local area as well. So we're expecting it to be ridiculous. So make sure to check out Recon if you're anywhere near North Carolina. You can come play games with us, and it'll be a lot of fun. And it's free to attend, and we can just hang out and play games. So that is February 17th, so coming up basically in a month from now. So, Recon in Kernersville, North Carolina. Hype.
Boom.
You think you're going to be able to come, Rob?
I will do my best. I don't know.
I was about to say, last time you had a fresh baby, so it was a little bit more difficult.
Yes. Fresh baby. Baby's still pretty fresh. It hasn't started to rot yet or anything like that. But
you mean she hasn't got a job yet?
Not yet. Just mid-January through July, August. I have to do whatever my clients tell me to do. So we'll see.
Cool. Well, this is next month, so we're good.
No, I said mid-January through July, August.
Mid-January. Oh yeah, that's all year basically.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. And another thing is the Kickstarter for Countdown Action Edition. This is the social deduction game from friend of the podcast, Lindsay Rode. She used to play Ashes with Rob a whole bunch, and she has started working with Dogmite, and this is her first board game social deduction game. Matt, did you actually get a chance to play this?
No.
Or did you just get to look at all the coolness?
I got to look at it. Got to talk to her about it. I talked to Emerson about it because he was there while I was there. So he's really a big fan of the game, and he thinks it's something that we collectively, the Epic Gaming Night guys, are going to absolutely love because it is very hidden deduction, but it also has a bit of role playing to it. So it's something that seems right up our alley.
Yeah, that does sound awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pumped. I saw it, and then also for $25, I had to back it, and the colors.
Dude, the artwork is top notch.
Yeah, the artwork is just amazing. And so I was like, all right, I was on the fence because I was telling Roy this year I'm trying to be good on Kickstarters, and I've already backed 3.
Hey, you're good, man. Hey, but they're 3 inexpensive ones, right?
Yeah, they're 3 inexpensive ones, so not so bad. But anyway, I'm excited. It looks fantastic. I like the theme. I like the whole cop negotiation, what's going to happen, who are you talking to type of a thing. So anyway, it's going to be fun.
Awesome. So make sure to check out Countdown Action Edition. I can't wait to play it. Hopefully we'll get to play it soon. Hi.
You know what I'm excited to play? Freaking The Walking Dead No Sanctuary. That's what I'm excited to play. This game, I just got an email from Cryptozoic saying, hey guys, the US stuff should all be shipping out Friday. So hopefully. And I was telling the guys before the show, I backed this in July of 2016.
Yeah,
Like,
it's been a long time coming for sure.
It's been a very long time coming. So I'm ready to get this going and to play it while I'm still a fan of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, before the show ends.
Before the show ends and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I mean, the show's doing some stuff that I'm not so crazy about. But I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. So anyway,
yeah.
it's all.
I don't care about Walking Dead spoilers. You can spoil it. No, I'm just kidding. No. So the next one is, I know we talked about this Kickstarter a couple times, but it's finally launched, the Hate Kickstarter. And we've got Tim the Hype Man in chat today. So let's talk about, did you see the video, Matt, for the Hate Kickstarter?
No.
Oh,
Let's talk about
you
that.
have to watch it, because I was like, oh man, I wish I was edgy and savage enough to be able to back this Kickstarter, because it's hilarious. Like, I mean, hilarious in a bad way for the actual video. It's like, oh man, it's so edgy. Come on, guys, we know all the bad words. I actually posted on Twitter, like, hey guys, our Kickstarter is so savage and edgy. We know all the bad words. And I'm like, oh yeah. Real great.
maybe they're just trying to compete with Kingdom Death, because they're like, oh man, it's got a lot of phalluses in that game, and a lot of.
Well, I didn't
see
any phalluses on the minis in Hate.
No,
That's going to be the exclusive miniatures.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. I got the email today, and they're like, hey, cool, Winter not launched a new thing, and I was like, oh cool, okay. And I was just literally like reading the thing that was like going through it, and the thing that made me very like weird about it is I was like reading it, and like the whole paragraph just sounded so much like it was just buzzwords. They were like, from the team that brought you Zombicide, oversaw by Eric Lang, with our exclusive artist Adrian Smith. And I'm just like, but what's the game about? I don't care about it as nonsense. Like, I'm sure Eric Lang, he makes great games and stuff. I don't care. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm not the people.
I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah. I will play it if somebody wants to, like if I'm at a convention or to demo or something, but I am not backing this game.
Yeah.
To me, and, this just might be a little too weird or too sensitive, or whatever, but it just like, I am not a fan of the IP, and I don't know anything about the graphic novel or anything like that, but the minis, like, there's so much going on the mini, it almost feels like
skulls on skulls on skulls is all I saw.
It looks like a popcorn ceiling to me. Like, all the minis look like popcorn ceilings because they're just covered in crap. And then it's just like, the IP, like the whole thing about the attitude behind the game, like it is hate. And if you watch the video, it's like that nerd with the deep voice, it's like he reminds me of the 10-year-old kid who's playing Call of Duty, whose mom walked out of the room, and so he just starts cussing. It's like you could still get the same vibe going on without having to have like all this language just to have the language. And so like me personally, like, I understand people use foul language. That's fine. I don't necessarily want to be talked to that way, but I'm not going to jump on somebody if they're talking like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's like they're trying to be like vile just to be vile. Like they're trying to spew hate. Now the thing that
I said, oh my goodness, they're so edgy with their edgy game.
Yeah, it's stupid, man. Like it's like he's just dropping F-bombs just to drop it. It's okay, like. You didn't have to say that, but okay, like that's dumb. It's like you're trying to cuss.
Any of the game mechanics through all the language.
Well, here's the thing: the game itself actually looks pretty cool. Like I like the idea of like the one-on-one campaign where you're basically like going through a tournament with your team.
Yeah.
And you gotta fight everybody to go through it, to keep going. Like that idea, I actually enjoy. And I also like the idea of the cover-up cards. Like they have these clear
that was the part
plastic.
that seemed interesting to me, was the
it reminds me of
transparency
Gloom.
cards. Yeah.
It reminds me of Gloom, like where you had to like stack the cards on top of the people to kill them.
They've got the same thing going on
in
Mystic Vale and stuff like that. So it's like, man, I like that mechanic, and I'm excited to see that coming into more games. But it seemed pretty simple the way they're using it.
What a great way! What a great way to upgrade a card without having to worry about destroying another thing or moving something else. Like I think it's cool. It's just, I don't know, man. Like there's something about this IP and the way that they're presenting it, where it seems so freaking like whoever made this like does not love their mom. Like they're just like pissed off at the world. They have a bad relationship with their parents. I don't know what's going on, but I just like, I'm not saying I'll never try it, but they're not going to get my money.
Gotcha.
So, and for those talking in chat, I did not lose that Blood Rage this past week, but I also did not. But I sort of won, actually, and we'll talk about that in the show. But I did not
won. You should have won.
If you go back and watch the video, there were a couple battles in the first stage I didn't count all my points on.
How many games are you going to do that in?
I pulled a Matt, and I know we'll talk about it, but Matt, I love your strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is kind of awesome.
You're just like, hey, man, bored.
No, after the first couple rounds of that game, I'm like, Rob's got this. I didn't even think I was close.
By
the end of the second round, I had every single one of my stats, the horns, the victory points, and everything all maxed out by the end of the second round.
Oh yeah,
there was no third round. And here's the thing: it wasn't even by the end. It was like halfway through round 2.
Yeah, he had everything maxed out.
So what I did is, I'll just say this real quick. We'll get into it. I did your strategy, and I moved everybody to Yggdrasil, and with my clan upgrade, my points for my clan was 42 before any cards or anything. And then I just kept re-pillaging Yggdrasil. Just did it over and over and over. And it didn't matter. Nobody could kill my stuff because your monsters that kill stuff, they have to land in the area with your people. But nobody can land in Yggdrasil except for that dwarf girl who I had.
The Dark Elf.
And so I just...
Totally.
It didn't matter if they had their mountain giant or whoever. And I just spammed the fire out of it. And they were like, all right, you can do anything else? Nope. And then once I had everything maxed out, I was like, all right, I'll run over here. I'll run over there.
Nice.
But anyway, hate. Hate is getting my hate. And that's a 10-4 negative.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes, because there's definitely been a lot of the same sort of sentiments you've had, Rob, around the internet, and them being like, what are we? Just saying stuff to say stuff? So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But I think it's funny. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, whatever, guys. But yeah, awesome.
Well, like, when somebody can, like, and this is not something that you guys may know about, but me being originally from New York, like, there are people that can cuss.
And it totally didn't sound natural in the
yeah,
thing.
it's just like, it's just natural. It's just part of, like, and not saying that it's right or anything like that.
I wonder if the reader of the script was just like, can I? How am I supposed to say that? Can I say? Like, you could tell he didn't.
But
feel comfortable saying
it was scripted, and of course it was scripted and stuff like that. But it just was just kind of like okay, you seem like that kid who's really excited because you just got permission to say a dirty word.
Good.
I have.
So anyway, it's gonna do good though. It funded in like
it's
a minute.
Funded, so
yeah,
within an hour, or I think as of like 3 or 4 hours ago, which it started at 3:00 today, our time. So like, let's say around 6 or 7, not even on there for 5 hours. It was already double the amount. It was
I do
already
think
almost
it's
at
funny
500.
that like each of the stretch goals say Kickstarter exclusive on the stretch goals, but like the entire game is Kickstarter exclusive. So it's kind of funny that like each exclusive is just like Kickstarter exclusive, Kickstarter exclusive, Kickstarter.
Well, they have to, because if they don't, then does that mean they're going to be able to get it somewhere else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny. What do you think, Matt? What were you about to say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, since we were talking about Kickstarters, I had a realization. That game that I played at PAX Unplugged Tokyo Jukatu, its Kickstarter came out.
Oh, nice. That's the
So I just kind of want to plug
one?
it because it's neat. Yeah, it's just a neat little game. I think it's $35.
Gotcha.
So it's a little pricey, but it is, just a bunch of wood and stuff. But the Kickstarter is also for 2 of his other games. One's about like vending machines in Tokyo, and the other one's about the Tokyo Metro system.
Yeah.
They look like they might be some people's cup of tea. The Metro system one didn't seem super interesting to me. The vending machine one kind of did, but I was just like, I don't know. Do I want a little plastic vending machine with little plastic cans and little plastic?
Yes. That sounds awesome, actually.
It looks really neat. But
that actually sounds really good.
I'll have to watch the full video, doing the gameplay demo, because it's 23 minutes long, because there's a bunch of different game modes that they have for it.
Yeah.
And I'm just okay. So I don't know. But it's out there. It's got several days to go. So, check it out if you want to. Or if not, whatever. It's fine. I know it's definitely one of my style of games where it's build things. Yay!
What's it called?
Tokyo Jukatu. Jukatu.
Nice.
Tokyo Jukatu.
And then there should be some other ones. I don't remember what the vending machine one is called, because I think it's literally the Japanese word for vending machine, and it's starts with a J, has about 18 letters in it. So I'm just all right.
Nice.
Darth, yeah, the vending machine is a dice tower, because how they pick first player thing is they just dump cans down through the vending machine, and the one that rolls the farthest is the first player.
That's awesome.
It's really crazy. I was just like, man, this is pretty neat. But I don't know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And we also want to announce that we're going to be doing we're going to start, and it's in the works, an Epic Gaming Night D&D campaign with
what
special guests where we go through, we each have our own characters, and we play through we're going to try to do this live as well, and you guys can join us in chat here on our YouTube channel and can join us as we go through a D&D campaign story. So I have tons of experience with 4th edition D&D. I used to run Encounters games for a year and a half at a game store, and then before that I've run D&D with my friend's family, and then I run tons of stuff at my house. So we've been doing tons of D&D, and we're getting help from some other awesome people that you guys might know. I don't know how much I want to spoil or see how the hype goes on that, but it's definitely going to be super awesome with the guests we're going to have on board.
Oh, I'll spoil it. We've got Crystal Pisano, who's going to be joining us from Board Game Blitz. Super excited for that. And we also have our very own Adam Sparkles.
You got to add the
that's
Sparkles.
That's how we started. Even though it's Adam Sparks. For those that do remember, Darth Grader used to be Darth Bader or something. I can't remember what Roy called him, but it was not Grader.
It was Grader like cheese with a T and not a D.
Oh yeah, Darth Greater.
Yes, and Adam was Adam Sparkles. And before Matt and I really got involved in chat, we were just oh, Adam Sparkles, what a cool name. Cool.
But yeah, that's a username. People do that.
Yeah,
Whatever.
So, and the reason why we picked Adam is because he would just not shut up and leave us alone. He was
did we pick Adam, or did Adam pick us?
I think Adam picked us.
Or the lucky.
No, Adam's fantastic, but he's been hyping this thing up for forever, and he's actually been sending us a lot of stuff outside of the show, getting us ready.
Various things we say during the podcast.
Yeah, all the Epic Gaming Night themed monsters. So
I'm excited to go through his monster list. But what's one of the cool things that we're going to do about this is it's not like Roy's just going to be the dedicated DM. We're going to kind of leave it up to the group, whoever feels like DMing next. And one of the things that we're also going to be doing with this is our Patreon. So listen, if you're a Patreon and you want to get involved with this, give us a couple months after we get started. We're only going to do this once a month. Mm-hmm. But one of the things we're going to allow for our Patreon level is you're going to have a chance, and we'll let you guys know when this is going to happen, and we'll send you the sheets to create your character.
Right.
But we're basically going to hire you as a mercenary or a hero for hire and go on some adventures with us. And so that way, you guys can follow along, what's going down. and we'll allow you to create a character that's similar to the stats that we currently have going. So like if we're way up there, you're not like a level 1 or something like that, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. We love you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we love you long time. We love you so hard.
It's just another way for us to interact with you guys in chat,
that's exactly
and
what it
to
is.
Hang out with more of our listeners and friends on Epic Gaming Night.
And we may do other type of role-playing stuff in the future or other things like that. And I can tell you guys this: I have basically demoed a D&D session before. It was like 2, maybe 3 hours with friends, which is basically a demo, right? So I don't have any D&D experience. However, the stories that we're going to create, because I'm not a D&D fan, I'm getting there, but like it's weird because when I say D&D, I think of like Ultra Nerd. Is that bad? That's like, man, bad. If I commit to this, I'm becoming that like Ultra Nerd. But I can tell you, I'm getting so excited to play with you guys and to play with Matt and Roy and Crystal and Adam.
With Stranger Things, it's mainstream now, right? Like everybody's doing it.
Man, hang on. Speaking of which, at work, I saw there's a lot of Stranger Things stuff that's going on clearance.
Yeah.
It's like apparel for women, because that makes sense. But there's a full set of shirts that just say Dungeons and Dragons and have no reference to Stranger Things at all. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, these are neat. I would totally buy that if I were a woman. But I'm not, so I'm going to fit into it. I noticed like everything that Target sends, they send a specific amount of certain sizes of for all the hang stuff. And I've noticed that none of them have sold. And I was like, and none of them will sell probably. They're probably going to sit there because people who are shopping at Target aren't like, oh boy, Dungeons and Dragons. Like if they want a D&D shirt, they buy it online.
It's me.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, but you're not a woman.
I also didn't know that Target had D&D shirts, so that's probably also why the people who buy D&D shirts don't get it.
Yeah. So. That's the only one I've seen. The only one.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
They're not hitting the right demographic there. Awesome.
It's going to be great.
Hype. Cool. So
be on the lookout. We're going to be starting that in February.
Nice. Yeah, definitely get super excited. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get into what we've been playing a little bit. Matt, did you get a chance to play anything?
I played Cards Against Humanity and Go Cuckoo. I had a small house party and sort of died. It was very surprising.
You sort of died.
So is this zombie
I'm
Matt
glad
now?
you didn't fully die.
Well, okay, so like I had people coming over, and I'm not used to hosting things. I was a little nervous. So some people show up. We start drinking a little bit. I have a couple of beers. Then we take some shots of whiskey. Then we take, I think, a shot of absinthe or something. And then I started making Long Island iced teas.
You woke up in the field?
Not quite. Then I had like a caipirinha or two that I made. And then at some point I was like, okay, the party's winding down. People are leaving. This is the perfect opportunity. I guess go to sleep. Because what Hector said is he goes, hey, man, you went from just being just fine to real pale. And then you just laid your head down. And we were all just assuming that you were just dying. But basically, I just remember then going to the bathroom, sitting down, hanging out, got the door closed. AJ goes, hey, man, you need anything? And I go, hey, man, just lock the door on your way out. And he's like, okie doke, buddy. And I was like, yeah. And then I just proceeded to get naked and sleep in the floor. So
What?
That's what happens when you get like really blistered. You just sleep in the bathroom, right? Happens to the best of us.
Change the rating on the podcast to not clean now.
That was a good Friday. So that's what I did. Got smashed and played Cards Against Humanity and Go Cuckoo. And Cards Against Humanity was not really that fun. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just I have too many cards, and so some of them just aren't funny.
That happens. And like you just get callous to the cards that are in there, and then you're just kind of like, been there, done
You're
that.
Like, oh man, I've definitely passed this Pac-Man uncontrollably guzzling cum for the 5th time, and you're just like, well, it's not so punctual and funny anymore.
It's just dumb.
I got a lot of I got a lot of good stuff for pledging $15 to help them buy a plot of land along the border so that they could stop the border wall.
Oh yeah.
So I got a lot of really good and interesting cards from that. Literally none of them came out. I was like, solid.
Tim says Matt's Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah, man. That's just how it goes.
Nice.
Yeah. That's what I did.
Well, that sounds like a scary weekend for sure.
That's an event.
How does Go Cuckoo work? Like, is it very difficult?
I don't remember. I remember. I think Hector won because I think he was the most sober. I don't know. There were eggs all over the place.
Nice.
Actually, I think when we finished, there were only 3 eggs in the nest with the bird on top, and then every other egg was either in front of a person or just inside the can. Like, there was just tons of them in the can because nobody was building structural integrity. We were just like, stick down. And you're just like, all right, well, great. I don't know.
It gets old faster than eventually. It starts old. I'm just kidding.
Man, we should have played Rhino Hero Super Battle.
Yeah, you should have.
But I would have lost like one of the monkeys down like a air vent. And that would have just been real sad.
Good times, good times. So, Rob, did you have any games you wanted to talk about that we played? I know we played a ton, and I'm sure we'll talk about it during our topic too. But is there anything you wanted to specifically point out and talk about?
Yeah, I will talk about above and or not above and below, near and far. So we got to play near and far. It was me and you and Stephen Bonacore and Tom Vassell. And man, I don't know. I feel like I keep saying this about like all the people I meet, or at least the publishers and designers that I meet. But Stephen Bonacore he's crazy, man. He is so much fun. Like when we were filming, when we were not filming, like, side note, dude was just like so cool just to hang out with. Like, had such a fun time hanging out with Stephen Bonacore. And some of the crazy stuff he'd say off camera, I will not repeat. And some of the stuff that he said on camera, like, we just had a blast. But I have never, ever played near and far before, and I've never played above and below before. But I was excited because of the theme and the whole storytelling aspect. So what you're doing on near and far is, like any other Euro game, you're just trying to create the best engine or trying to get the most points by the end of the game, whichever end game condition spawns into the game. But what's great about this one is you have a map. So there's 2 segments of the board. You basically have like a village area that has different areas that you can go to, from mining to a saloon to get bread to change out cards to a bunch of other stuff. And then you have a bottom part of the board, which is a big map. And you can put down these little books on the map that cover certain sections. And when you go to that book, you have to read that book number. And so it's like a Euro meets Tales of the Arabian Nights type of a thing. Yes, I would say for those that like Tales of the Arabian Nights but want a little bit more, this is that for me. I really enjoyed it. In fact, when we got done playing this game, I literally walked out into the cool stuff lobby and bought it. Had an absolute blast playing this game. And so I was this huge robot person, and in real life, I have a phobia of frogs. I don't like frogs. And Roy picked a frog character, so I just followed Roy for the first couple turns and just beat him up wherever he went. I went there, and I fought him, because some parts of the top part of the map, like the mine and like the bakery and other places, only allow one person in them. And so I would just follow Roy.
It also didn't matter to my character whatsoever that he did that either.
Well, I beat him up. Well, yeah, because you got to do what you wanted to do already, but I would just go in there and I'd beat him up. And Tom, and they're like, man, you got a problem with Roy? It's like, man, I don't like frogs. I don't like frogs, and he picked the frog people, and I don't care. I'm an angry robot.
Rob was just like, where Roy went was a good idea. Also, I would like to go there.
Well, having never played the game before, and Stephen Bonacore never played the game before, so we're doing, like, we end up doing stupid stuff. But at first, we're literally just following Tom and Roy. Because here's how they teach the game. You get this, or you're going to go around, you're going to do some stuff. You can put a person here, and then you can put some stuff there. And you just got to go on adventures. You guys ready to play?
That's basically the game. What else do you want to know?
Cool. So anyway, we
Also,
went
I
on a
didn't
bunch of
teach, so
adventures.
you can't blame it on me.
No, but it actually it worked well. It was one of those I really like to learn games as I'm playing them,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's one of the things I actually like about you. And Tom also did a fantastic job. Is they taught as we played.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we had a blast. And Stephen Bonacore cannot roll, or for that game at least, did not roll to save his life. He'd go on all these amazing adventures. He was such a punk because like he would not be equipped to do what he needed to do. Like when you're playing the game and you go on an adventure, you can pay 3 movement or 3 something.
Yeah, he was racing to get the stories and
to
then
get
failing
the books,
them.
but then he wouldn't like put his tents down or other things like that. So he's just running all over the place to do all the adventures himself, and he terribly failed 3/4 of his adventures that he went on.
Yeah,
I mean, it
stop
was
failing the
really
adventures
bad.
so we can actually go do them and enjoy them.
He was getting wrecked. Like he was supposed to
was fun,
save the
though.
miner's daughter at first. Nope, never saved her. Never even saw her. Then he had this robot companion who was threatening to beat him up if he didn't find his mother. And I was also a robot character, which he wasn't a robot character. So I thought, okay, are we going to connect? Nope. He ended up botching that adventure later down. So we never found out what happened with the robot. He ends up attacking the robot and like stealing some gold from it and then moving on. But it was just fun. It's one of those where it's one of those games where I'd have to say it's like you'd have to be there to experience it. But the story, the adventure was a blast. I'll also say it matters who you play with. This is not a dry Euro. It's a thematic game. And so play with people that you would play with Tales of the Arabian Nights, get into it. But it was a lot of fun. I ended up winning. I didn't know how I won, but I ended up winning by a lot, which was also a lot of fun. But it was a blast, near and far. I will say this, like, if you would have told me when we started the podcast that I'd become more and more of a fan of Euro games, I'd have been like, well, you're an idiot, because I don't like Euro games. But like more Euro games that are coming out like this,
They're all blurring the line. They're thematic
Oh.
and Euro and have trashy story elements. It's not.
well, I mean,
It's not
and
one or
speaking
the
of
other
Bonacore-
anymore. You know, it's kind of both. So
Well, and it's that, and also like games like, and we were talking about Stephen Bonacore at Stronghold Games, Terraforming Mars. Terraforming
Yeah.
Mars really doesn't have a story to it, but it has great theme. Like I feel like I'm really trying to terraform Mars. And the thing that I've been really lucky with about Terraforming Mars is I've played with fun people. I haven't just played with that dry, boring Euro person yet. Which you could do that with Terraforming Mars. You can't really do that with Near and Far. I don't think so. Anyway, Euros are growing on me. I'm liking them. I'm liking the camaraderie and the things that happen. So we'll see. But if you've not played it, I'm not saying just go out and buy it because it's not a cheap game. But try to get your hands on a copy of it. I think you'll like it. I really do.
This unfortunately comes after they kickstarted an expansion where you could get the deluxe Kickstarter edition for like $60 as opposed to whatever you probably.
Oh yeah, it sucks bad because if I had played this in 2017,
Yeah.
it would have
Yeah.
been in my top 5 of 2017 of the year.
me and
That's
Matt
a
were
good-
raving about it pretty hard when we played it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As-
I absolutely love
I'm
it.
playing it again. I'm playing it again. Let's play that again.
We
Let's
played
play
a
that
bunch
again.
of times. We played it several
Good.
times in a row. Because we
Yeah.
had our little characters and we got a little ways into their storyline, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was fun. But again, like playing with Bonacore, because like if you go back and watch the video, like I'm ragging on him, he's ragging at me. One time he like grabs my shirt collar and he's like pulling me somewhere, and like we're doing all this stupid stuff. Like to me, the people that I play with can make or break a game, and like it was funny because like Tom and Roy were like making these engines, like they were being the smart Euro players. They were like, we're getting ready to go on these adventures.
No, I was just kind
we're
of
getting ready to do this stuff. And I just wanted to be silly. I was just being goofy. I was just having fun. I was a robot, so I was going to beat up thieves so I could get gold to go buy other things, to put out tents. And I ended up killing. I mean, not killing. I won by like, I had 57 points, and the closest person to me, I think, had 44. And I think that was Tom. I think Tom was second in 44 or something like that. But I was just being silly, having fun with the game, just playing how I wanted to play it. And that's the other thing I liked is like I had to do a little bit of year. I had to make somewhat of an engine, and I did. But it all just worked out. Like it all was just a lot of fun. I appreciated it. It's good.
Awesome. Well, I got to play a game today. Trevor came over and we played Dice Throne, which this is a game. It's very interesting because it's like a head-to-head game, but you have all these custom dice. You're all playing different fantasy-ish characters with custom dice, and it's very Yahtzee like combat almost. You're playing and you're rolling dice to try to get different special symbols to do different abilities, but you also have a deck of cards that allows you to upgrade those different abilities, whether you're trying to get like large straights or small straights or different special symbols on it. And each character seems to play very different. I was playing like a dark elf thief or something like that, and he was playing a dwarven like fighter or something along those lines. And I was getting a whole bunch of cards and getting a whole bunch of you use different combat points to be able to play your cards down on the table. My thief was all about getting combat points and stealing them from my opponent and rolling these dice and trying to get the little combos of the dice, fighting back and forth. It's a very simple game, but I really like the custom dice in it. And you're just trying to take out your opponent's life points, but just the way that the combos worked and the upgrading cards worked, it seemed pretty fun. So Dice Forge is a pretty interesting little game. I think you guys would like it. I think it would be an interesting game to play.
Dice Forge?
Not Dice Forge, sorry. Dice Throne. I've played Dice Forge before also, but Dice Throne is the game I'm talking about currently. But it's like fantasy fighting each other with custom dice is basically all it is. And it's a complete game, so it's not like a game that you can like you add stuff onto or get anything crazy. And you get your cards out of the deck and are just trying to upgrade your powers. You have like this player board that tells you what all the different combinations do. Like I could try to get a whole bunch of sword symbols and then do damage, but if I got like 3 sword symbols, it would do like 4 damage. If I got 4 sword symbols, it would do 6 damage. If I got 5 sword symbols, which would be the max, like everything's a sword symbol, it's like 8. But then there's tons of status effects you can put on your opponent. Like I could do certain combos to do poison to my opponent, so then they're taking 1 damage every turn. And I could do certain combos to get a sneak attack, like go into hiding, so that way next turn I could do extra damage to my opponent. Or I could do certain combos to get a shadows token, so basically I'm hiding from them, so the next time they do damage to me, it's completely negated, but then the turn after that, they can then do damage to me again. So it's like all these different status things you can get and put on your opponent. Trevor's character had stuff where I wouldn't be able to gain points to be able to do my different abilities and things like that. And there's like all sorts of different things. The characters seem like they'll be very different in the game, but it's just cool. Like they're very like marbleized or like pearlized dice that look like really cool. And they're nice chunky dice that you get to roll against your opponent. And yeah, Dice Throne was a cute little head-to-head combat game. Actually, I mean, I went into it being like, oh, this looks interesting. Oh, I really like the artwork. That looks cool. And the more I got into it, the more I really liked it. So make sure to check out Dice Throne. It's a pretty cool little game. I think you guys would like it because it's like silly, simple game. But yeah, hype.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo!
Woo. Awesome. Well, I guess we're going to talk a little bit about our trip to Florida. And Matt can give us his thoughts on it. you guys went to that thing and things.
Yeah.
We need the yes in the background, so we need you to double up on the yes during this.
Okay. I need to get a soundboard.
Yes.
And I can just myself and just like push a button every once in a while and I'll be like, guys, I'm really phoning it in here.
That would be awesome. And you just have to hit it a bunch of times so it's like...
I'll just record it and I'll be like, Roy, anytime you need a just push the button, man.
Yeah.
Hang on. You guys remember the easy button that Staples had?
Yeah.
Did you know they made programmable ones?
Really?
Yeah, so they had a button that you could just record anything into and you just press it and be like, yeah, or like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now I kind of want to get that.
Whenever there's questions people ask you a lot at work, just hit the button and it'll answer the question for them.
There we go. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So Rob, how was our trip down to Florida?
It was terrible. It was terrible. No, it was a blast, man. We had a we had a good time. We drove for like 9 hours. We got there. Yeah, we hung out that night. How much do you want me to go into? Like, you just want the initial, like, yeah, it was fun.
Whatever.
Like, what do you want?
Thoughts of different.
I had an absolute blast.
Yeah.
I will say this: Cool Stuff Inc. is a phenomenal company.
Oh yeah, this was the first time I'd ever been to Cool Stuff.
I've never been in one of their stores or anything like that. And the way that we did ours is like their store is like the front third of the store is like a game store where you can buy games, and they got tables galore, and then they got drinks and food and stuff. And then the back 2/3 is like warehouse and offices. And we were able to steal like one of the rooms in the back, and that's where we did our filming. Everybody was so cool. Everybody was really nice. They were a lot of fun. They were really accommodating. And I'm like, you have no idea who I am, but I will take this free soda anyway. So thank you very much. It was just an absolute blast. And the Cool Stuff guys, really nice. And their whole setup. I will say Cool Stuff has got more of my business, in the future. Like, I was a big Amazon person, and I do like Amazon, but I'm willing to spend the extra couple bucks to get some deals on Cool Stuff. They're just nice, down to earth, cool people that we're able to sit down. Like, I don't know if Roy got a chance to, but I can't remember which of the owners of Cool Stuff it was. But anyway, he was not the bald one, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I got to sit down with him for about 5 or 10 minutes, and we just talked. He didn't really know who I was. He just knew I was a guy that was there for the thing, and just super cool. Like, I really appreciate companies that are just down to earth and relatable. And he was busy running a big operation, and I just stopped by to say thank you for something, and then we ended up talking for a while. But anyway, had a blast. If I never get invited back again, that'd be fine. I still had a great time. And if I get invited back again, I would do what I can to make it. It was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool because I mean, at least every Christmas or every once in a while, like, I get games from Cool Stuff and stuff like that. And it was really cool to see like the whole behind the scenes operation of all that stuff. Besides the fact that we were there doing all the live streaming and awesome gaming, it was cool to be like, oh man, that's where all the peanuts go into the thing. And it's kind of cool because when we did the recording, they use a whole bunch of bags of like packing peanuts to do as like sound dampeners for our recording area. There's just like giant things of peanuts, and I'm like, I wonder how many of these peanuts are going into games to people that I know. It's kind of funny, but
man,
yeah.
That would be bad. Somebody just hits one of them and it just rustles for 10 minutes.
Yeah, they were pretty tight bags though, so it was just like like a stiff bag of packing peanuts. But yeah, I'm gonna open it up.
They're great sound barriers. I'll tell you that much. They worked really well for sound barriers and stuff like that. And also, side note, like the Dice Tower guys, they're fun, they're hilarious. Like, I had a blast with them as well. But I will say this about the Dice Tower people. What you see on camera is pretty much what you get, and I like that. Like, sometimes when you meet somebody, you think you're going to meet a personality, not the person.
Yeah.
And Z is crazy, silly, funny, on and off camera. Sam is crazy, silly, on and off camera. Tom is businesslike, and he was also funny too. But I'm a Yankee, so I can get like Tom's directness, and so he'd say some stuff to you, and I thought it was hilarious. Like, his sense of humor to me is a little bit of a dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
But I had a blast, and his daughter threw me for a loop. Melody, we were playing Crossfire, and she broke under pressure. She just immediately started laughing, and
dude, she
I was
saved
gonna
me.
kill Roy, and I was like, "Oh, Roy, you're the killer!" And all of a sudden, I looked at Melody, and I was like, "Are you this?" And she was like, "No." Hey, you can't do that. You can't like say no and then just start laughing about it.
Matt does it all the time.
I changed my decision, and it ended up costing us.
Hey man, one of these days it'll work out for me.
What?
laughing when you ask him something directly.
Oh man, it was terrible. Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of you, Matt. I mean, she was just like straight face, like no. I mean, busted out the smile and everything. I was like, oh, Melody, come on, don't do that to me. And
Man.
And I knew Roy was it. You know how I knew Roy was it, Matt? Because he wasn't saying anything. I was like, oh, you're it. I was like, nope, you're being too quiet.
Well, they kind of talked me into a corner, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. And then somehow I got out of the corner. No one talked you into
a corner. You were quiet from the get-go because I was the sniper that time. We played the assassin version.
Well, you guys were like, it was over here on this side, so it was this one, or this one. I'm just like,
Roy from the get-go was just kind of like
words, things. What say do I words?
Roy was just like, I don't know. Anyway, we had an absolute blast. But everyone, even the other personalities and the other people that we played with, the other contributors, I had never met them in person before. And I did tell Tom the embarrassing story. You remember at St. Elmo's?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I told Tom about that over lunch. And he was like, yeah, you'd be surprised how much I get that. I don't even remember that you did that. I was like, I don't know, man. It was really awkward and loud. I was like, yeah, I get that a lot. I was like, all right, cool. Now I don't feel so bad. I was like, I just yelled at you and your daughter, and you were just like, okay, and walked away.
I think the thing that killed me most about it is you did that in a fancy restaurant.
Yeah, with a mouthful of food. Like I had to check the steak.
Tom.
Hey, that's Tom Vassell.
Oh man.
While our waiter was like low key destroying people's IDs to make sure they were exactly over 21 so that they could get a singular beer. This is like, Jesus, man, calm down.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a blast. But yeah, Tom, I had a good time with Tom, with everybody. Everybody was a good time.
Oh yeah, I definitely had a blast going down there. It's definitely fun because I mean I got to do Gen Con with the Dice Tower crew, so like I know a bunch of them, and I did a lot of stuff at CMON with them as well, and Dice Tower Con. So I mean I've got to hang out with them a bunch, but it was really cool because I haven't got a lot of opportunity to sit down and just play games with them that much. So that was definitely a big change and a big difference, which was a lot of fun to be able to play games with everyone and play stuff in those group settings. So that was definitely a blast. What would you say was your favorite game that you got to play, Rob?
Well, my favorite experience was Near and Far just because I'd never played it before, and that was fun. I don't know, my favorite game, that's like several. Crossfire was an absolute blast with a group of people.
Oh yeah. I think that was a great game to start off with, Crossfire.
Yes, and the quick social deduction games, like those social deduction games that you can have done in under 10 minutes, such a blast. Like that was fantastic. And a lot of it depended on the group of people we played with.
It makes me happy that all the games I suggested got on the list, and like,
oh yeah,
and they were all like hits. So,
Blood Rage was a blast, and I know we'll talk about it, but I did some stuff in Blood Rage that I've never done before.
It was ridiculous,
and that was a lot of fun because I've never tried those. Out of all the games I've played of Blood Rage, of like 15 plus games, I've never tried these certain strategies, and I did them, and it actually worked out really well. Heroes of Landair Sea was cool. I think if I played that again, though, I'd pick a different race. However, crazy excited to get my hands on my copy of Heroes of Landair Sea, just because
it's just so beautiful.
Everything turned out so well. Everything is just like gorgeous, and it's like we got done playing a 4-player game of Heroes of Landair Sea, and we played a full game. It wasn't like
learning the game basically,
and we played it under 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's what I love. Like we played a good 4X game, 4X under 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. Captain Sonar, that was also fun. Never had been the captain before, and
dude, Captain Sonar was so intense.
So we're playing Captain Sonar, right? And so Tom every year, I've learned this, he stacks it so his team wins ever since it's come out. So his team wins. So
he puts all the new people on one side, and then he has his like veteran team on the other.
Mark Street, who's never been the radar person before, who's like mapping out where the other team is. He's my radar guy. I'm the captain guy. Bonacor is like the first mate, checking off stuff like, all right, move here, move there. And then a gentleman named Garth. He's the other guy in the corner, like tell me where to move and stuff.
Graham.
So we're all pretty new to the game, right? Bonacor's never played. So after like the first couple games, like it's terrible. We played 2 games of Captain Sonar in a half an hour. 2 games, Matt.
Jeez.
Two games
Yeah.
of Captain Sonar in a half an hour. And so
You gotta tell the Bonacore story.
So that's what I'm getting to. And so
Bonacore wanted to be on Tom's team, and he didn't get to sit down on Tom's side. So he was on the other side, and he wasn't very happy about that.
Aw.
So here's what he did. Here's what made it worse. All right, Matt. All right. He looks down our row of people, right? He's like looking back and forth. And he looks over and he's like, "Hey guys, let's switch up teams. And because like they would not just kill us, they'd get direct hits every time.
Oh yeah,
like,
it was intense.
And so Bonacore's like, "You know what? I'm fine with staying here, and the first mate guy can stay here, and our radar guy can stay here. Let's switch captains." So he just wanted to get rid of me. He's like, "Let's switch teams. Actually, let's just switch captains. Could you please go to the other team?"
He just want to play with Tom. That's it.
Oh, bro. But it was like the way he said it, like, "Oh yeah, guys, we're gonna do a new draft and switch up teams." But hold on, let me think.
Rob wouldn't let him live it down
you're
too, which
the
made
only
it
one that
hilarious.
sucks right now. So let's get rid of Rob. And here's the funny thing. So we ended up switching.
It made it a lot better. So
it did, and I ended up breaking. There you go, Tom Vassell. I ended up breaking a streak he's never lost on the marathon.
Yeah.
And when I got on the other team, which it was not me, my other team beat him for me, but we finally beat Tom. And he was good at that game.
It was rough too, because me and Rob, I kept being like, "Rob, you have to go in these patterns," and Rob's like, "I'm trying to go in those patterns, but I'm stuck on these islands." I'm like, "But we have to go in the patterns."
Where like every other turn is an island. You
Oh, yeah,
can't
it was
go straight
rough.
for more than like 2 or 3 turns in any direction. There's just hundreds of little. Oh, my camera.
I wonder when that was going to happen, because the camera was shaking so much.
All right, I'll quit moving. But anyway, like there were tons and tons of islands, like 50 plus islands, little islands on this map, and the map's not very big, and so half of the dots had islands on them. But anyway, it's just everything. Like to say what was my favorite game would be tough, because like
There's
I
so much
literally
fun.
enjoyed. Well, I mean, some of the party games at the end I didn't care for, but like all the big games that we got to play, I
still had fun with those, mostly because the people we were playing with. It was cool to play those crazy party games with like Mandy and Stephen Bonacore and all these different people. Like playing with all the different people on the teams was still pretty fun. So I even like the party games. But yeah, it was a blast altogether.
Yeah, I had an absolute blast.
I mean, obviously, my favorite game that I played was Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea, just because I love that game so much. It was cool to be able to teach it, because I know Sam's been wanting to play it for a while, and Rob had played it, but he hadn't played the final version. And Robert Geislinger is more of like, he's like a Euro player, but he enjoys 4X stuff. So it was really fun to play that game with all those guys, and then like afterwards, then be like, "Oh man, that was a blast!" And Sam really enjoyed the game and stuff like that. So I was excited to see them finally get to play it, and then like still say it was like solid and awesome, be like, "I'm validated because I really love this game." So I don't know, it's fun, even though like I couldn't break Sam's defenses. He had so many dwarves over there. I'm like, I just want to attack Sam, but
man, he had this one sleep spell that's brutal.
Oh yeah,
it's like you go to another player's continent and
you just make
three territories that are connected.
They all
put everybody in that territory. They all lay down. They all go to sleep. So they're there. But you don't gain any of the resources or anything. Like if you attack them, they'll activate, but you have to spend march orders to pick them up, and you can't pick up all 3 areas on 2 march orders. So it takes you like 2 turns to pick up everybody. It was brutal.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that is you can now scribe spells, so it's one of the spells you can scribe. So basically you can cast that spell every other round. I mean, you have to take the time to get it scribed and then go and do the cast action so you can cast the spell. And it's pretty fun though. Like if you have a correct counter spell, or like Sam played it and did it on Robert Geislinger, and then I copied that spell and did it back on Sam. So I mean, there's ways to like mess other people up when somebody else has a scribe spell, but it's pretty brutal when somebody gets a really good scribe spell in there. So it's pretty fun.
Oh yeah,
awesome. But yeah, I love that game. So who all did we get to play with?
Robert Geislinger, Tom Vassell, Sam Healy, Z Garcia, Mandy. I can't remember Mandy's last name, but
Hutchinson.
Mandy's a lot of fun. She's super sweet.
Oh yeah, she's.
I really enjoyed hanging out with Mandy. We talked a lot about TV shows and movies and stuff like that. Mandy's a lot of fun. We got to play with Melody, Tom's daughter. We got to play with Mark Streed, who I hate now because he's lost so much weight. It's ridiculous. That's all we did all weekend is make fun of him. Matt, it's stupid. It's really stupid. It's uncomfortable. Like every time I would eat around him, I'd walk the other way.
Well, it wouldn't be so bad if he didn't immediately tell you how many calories was in anything you're eating all the time.
Oh my gosh! Anytime we took a bite or anything, he calorie counted it. Roy's not joking. Like
it's
it was
fine.
just like
good for him. Good
no.
for him.
I was like at the end, I was like, screw you, Mark. Like
it's
I would
okay
just
if you
go
count your own
eat
calories. It's not okay if you count other people's calories.
We got to play
you know
with
what you did,
Graham.
Mark. You know what you did.
Got to play with Graham. Graham and Mandy are both from Canada.
I had never I'd heard some of Graham's stuff on the audio podcast.
I had no idea.
And I
who
had
this guy
seen
was.
some of his stuff, but I had never interacted with Graham whatsoever, like not on Twitter or not on anything. He's super cool guy, super awesome
I
guy.
thought Graham was like another me. Like he just got to tag along with Mandy.
No,
like I got
he
to
does
tag
like his
along
own
with
stuff.
Roy and stuff like that. But he does a lot of stuff. He's been contributing with the Dice Tower for a while now, even back when they were just an audio podcast stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to play with them. Who else? There's like 14 of us. We also got to play with Derek.
Derek
he
and
played a
Jason and
couple
Kenny.
games. Yeah, and then we got to play with Jason. Ugh. Ugh.
Dude, it was awesome. People said that our Flip Ships games was one of the highlights of the entire stream, which I thought was interesting because the only game we ran tight on schedule when we were doing this, and you can go back and watch some live streams. And Tom actually said they're going to cut up each individual game and repost just that specific game. But we ended up playing Flip Ships because we only had like 30 minutes left or whatever, and we're like, we got to play something real quick. And we got Flip Ships set up because Rob had brought his copy, brand new in shrink. We popped it out, got all the ships done, and I think it's just a fun, silly game. And the way they had it set up on stream was really cool because you could see, I don't know if you've gone back and looked, Rob, you could see us flipping the ship and see the thing fly through the air and try to land on the different pieces. And it actually turned out really good as far as like what you can see as like a viewer. And this was the last game we played right around 3:30 to 4 a.m. in the morning. So we were a little bit gone at that point. At a certain point, Rob's just like, shotgun. We got to shotgun it. He stacked up every single one of his ships in one pile and flipped them all at the same time.
I ended up killing like 2 or 3 things.
It was awesome. And of course, the chat was all like, "Oh my goodness, that's so crazy."
Well, I asked the chat. I was like, "You guys want me to shotgun this? Because I really don't care."
I was like,
once I get 3 people, within like a minute, 3 people, and I'm like, "Who else is up?"
And then the whole chat was just like, "Shotgun,
on
shotgun."
purpose. Like I'm here because I have to be, but you're up on purpose to watch this. Like, but it was like probably a lot of European people.
They're probably all European, and they're just like, "Oh, this is just during lunchtime." Yeah.
So, but yeah, Jason, man. Jason and Kenny. I didn't get to play with Kenny. He was the one guy, but he worked.
Yeah, he didn't really play as much. He was mostly the work guy.
Yeah.
But still a lot of fun. I actually had a lot of fun with Time's Up because that game, I've never played a full game of that, but they had their own Dice Tower themed Time's Up where they had some like different board games thrown in there and a bunch of like geeky movies and video games is mostly what it was. So like I got a lot of the references. So that helped. And then after you go through it once, like you kind of know what's in the deck, and then you're just trying to figure it out. It was just silly. I thought it was a whole lot of fun. But yeah, so how do you think that the stream and everything went, Rob? I thought it was a blast.
I thought it was a big success, and we're asking Tom, like, why do you do it on Thursday and Friday? And from a business point of view, it makes complete sense. A lot of people watch the stream while they're at work. And so he's like, if you try to do it on the weekends, you're not going to pull in as many people. And I was like, you're absolutely right, because we actually had a lot of people saying they're watching this on their second monitor while working at work.
Yeah.
And it was their most successful stream yet. I'm not
saying it's because of us, but it's not saying it's not because of us.
Well, all I'm saying is this is our first time there, and it was their most successful one ever. So,
Hey.
you know, they've, I guess, had other more successful ones, but we were there, and now they broke barriers. Like we blew it out of the park. But it was weird, because I also had a crazy dream. So we drive down all day Wednesday, and then we get there, and we get there late, and you know how, like, when you're hyped for something, it's hard to sleep.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not sleeping well, and Matt, I had this crazy dream, man. So it's about like 5 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning, and Roy and I are on the Thursday morning, 10 a.m. to 4 o'clock in the morning, Friday morning shift. So we're supposed to play games from 10 to 4. Now we're on and off. We're not playing the whole time, but we're there all day, right?
Yeah.
So around 5 o'clock in the morning, I have this dream. And for those that know Roy Kennedy, he does not smoke.
No.
But in my dream, he was
not even
smoking.
once.
Not even once. So in my dream, we're back in our hotel room. And our hotel, when you first enter, it has like a love seat and then a couch and then 2 beds. Now, our actual hotel room just had like a love-seated table and 2 beds, right? Nothing special. But in my dream, it had the love seat and the couch. Well, Roy goes outside on the balcony to start smoking a cigarette. And it's weird because Roy is bent over the bar, like over the handrails, but he's got his arm underneath the handrail to bring it up and over. So he's like constantly crouched over smoking this way while like the bar is in between him. So he can't, I guess, bring his hand up to hit himself in the face. So Roy leaves the room, and all of a sudden the couch and the love seat start moving towards me. And I'm like, why are you guys moving towards me? Like, it started to make me mad.
Talking to.
Like,
Yeah.
What is going on? Like, why is this stuff moving towards me, man? And I was like, all right, what's going on? And so then I get up, I get out of the bed, and I start pushing the furniture back. Like, nah, man, this furniture's not alive. Like, Brett, like, I'm starting to get pissed off. Like, you better stop moving on. Like, what are you doing? And so I walk out on the balcony, and I walk over to Roy, and he's just sitting over there, like, 100% bent over, smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, Roy, bro, listen, the furniture's alive in our room. Like, are you seeing anything? And he's like, man, leave me alone. You're crazy. Smoking my cigarette. Leave me alone. And all of a sudden I turn to my right, and there's the love seat. The love seat had followed me outside. Now I'm like freaking out. I'm like, get off me. And the love seat like pushes on me. So I push the love seat back. Well, then all of a sudden I run back into the room, which if you're getting eaten by furniture, you never walk back into the room that's full of the furniture. Well, in my dream I did. Walk back into the room, and all of a sudden the couch is sliding on the ground, hitting me. And I get pissed off, and I push the couch like as hard as I can back against the wall. And then all of a sudden, it's like the couch stands up, and you know how like it can make a V?
Yeah.
It like V swallowed me, and then I woke up. And so I wake up, and I'm like, Jesus, help! Jesus, come on! Everything is haunted. Everything. I don't know what's going on. Like it freaked me out. I'm like, oh my gosh! And I couldn't look over at Roy because I'm like, if there's a piece of furniture moving over there by Roy right now, I'm gonna lose my head. And so like,
Please don't
I
hit
woke
me
up.
in my sleep.
Oh man, I woke up. I started praying. I pulled out my Bible app. I was like, you know what? I rebuke all the demon couches. I rebuke all the demon love seats. Like, get out! I was freaking out, man.
I slept
And I look
great.
over at my phone, and it's like 5:27 a.m. And I'm like, no freaking way. Like, because now I'm like awake. Like I'm awake, and I'm like, I've got to be up for basically 23 hours. Like, because I couldn't go back to sleep. Like after I woke up, then I was just awake the whole time. And so, so then we played games. So by the time we played with Jason Flip Ships at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was out of it. And Matt, you you can read my body language. You would have known that I was not in the mood. You would have known that I was like, I was just not ready. I was just like, all right, man. And I was being happy. I was being happy for the stream. But on the inside, I was like, bro, I'm going to flip you. I'm about to flip. I'm about to go crazy. I lost it.
It was awesome because he told everybody else that story too, and they just looked at him like,
bro, are you okay? Everyone looked at me like, are you okay?
First exposure to Rob. I'm like, no, this is normal.
Well, we were also
Don't worry
like
about
in
it, guys.
shady
This is
hotel.
normal, Rob.
We're in like a shady hotel. It's not a great hotel. I was tired, long day. all that kind of stuff. So it was just a lot of stuff adding up.
Dude, if you thought it was so shady, why'd you take all the comforters? No, I'm just kidding.
Bro, I did not take the comforter. They called us after we left saying, why'd you steal our 2 comforters? I brought my own blanket, and thank God.
Nobody wants shady comforters from the hotel.
Threw all of their stuff on the ground. I was like, I am not sleeping on these STD covered blankets. You cannot tell me these blankets don't have herpes. No way. And so I'm so glad I brought my own blanket and pillow. I threw all of their stuff on the ground. I was like, nope, you devil couches.
Maybe the blankets got mad at you for throwing them on the ground. That's why you had a nightmare.
Maybe, I don't know, but anyway, if you guys want to see a funny video of me reacting to Jason, actually, if you will go to the Friday afternoon.
Oh, when we were playing Muse or whatever?
Yes.
And he's trying to hum and you're flipping out. That's not humming, man.
If you will go to the Friday evening of the Dice Tower Marathon, and if you'll go to like the hour and 5-minute mark, in fact, I'm going to try to copy and paste. If you'll go to the hour and 5-minute mark, Jason starts humming. It is not humming to me. It is not humming to me. It was rough.
It was hilarious.
It was not hilarious.
But yeah, it was awesome because like we'd have like random people super chat while we were doing the live thing. There was one point where they were like, "I'll give Roy I'll super chat $5 if you give Roy a high five." So then Tom like ran across the thing to give me a high five. So they're like awesome people in chat just doing crazy stuff. And there'd just be people like we'd be like, "Okay, who do you think's gonna win this game?" And there'd just be a bunch of people like spamming in chat who they thought was gonna win and all that stuff.
Oh, but chat's awesome though, because like half of the chat, everyone's talking about food.
Oh yeah,
there were arguments about Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke. There were arguments about nachos or like chicken fingers. Like all somebody had to do is like
mention
talk about
something
food while
and
playing.
Start talking
and then
about
if you go look at chat is just like food, board game.
That just, not to be overly critical, but that just generally sounds like board gamers and Twitch chat in general.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like any live stream chat's just like, hey, what was that? Let's argue about this for a minute. And it's like, okay.
It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
Oh, people were getting into it over Who or Doctor Who or whatnot. I mean, it was great. Like I had an absolute blast. I got to arm wrestle Sam Healy.
Oh yes. during the end of our Blood Rage game.
Did you see that?
I saw a picture of it.
So me and Rob,
it looked like you were doing pretty well though.
Yeah,
oh, bro.
yeah. Well, here's what happened. So me and Rob tied or whatever. The points got kind of screwed, but we tied during the game, or we thought we tied during the game. And so then it's like, okay, what do you do for a tiebreaker? There's literally no tiebreaker in the rule book for Blood Rage. It's like, what? And so Sam Healy's like, you and Rob should arm wrestle for this. I'm like, who makes that the tiebreaker? Because I auto lose.
Matt, I was like, yes, I'll do it. I'll arm wrestle him right now.
I just had to concede. I lose. I said,
bro, you should have seen my face. Huge smile came over my face as soon as he volunteered Roy. I was like, yes.
I was about to say, these arms are made for editing board game videos, not for arm wrestling. Rob's got a little bit of muscle on me, I think, just a little.
Muscle and
so then
cake.
Then Sam's like, I'll be your tribute or whatever, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know that you're gonna be able to take Rob either. Okay, we'll see how this goes.
Sam was just mad that he got wrecked. Now, I will say this: he is such a fun guy to play games with. Like, he really does not care if he wins or loses. Like, such a fun sport. Matt, you would love playing with Sam because he's kind of like me and you. Like, you know, sometimes we don't care. You just want to do stupid stuff. He's that way. Like, he just wants to do crazy stuff. And when we played Blood Rage, we played with 2 gods per age, and I'll tell you, it made such a fun difference, and it impacted the game a lot. It was a lot of fun playing with the gods. But he didn't care. He just wanted to see some crazy stuff. So Sam was like, all right, man, I'll be your champion, Roy. I'll be your champion. So we like slide everything Blood Rage out of the way. And we got Bonacord to do like the official, like we locked hands underneath, and then we locked hands at the top. And
it was over real quick.
I knew within like a second or two, like, okay, I got him. Like, I didn't want to hurt him, but all right, I'm a fat guy. I understand that I'm a fat guy, but I'm also a pretty strong guy. Like there is some muscle underneath all of this, lots of love. And so I wanted to see like if he was going to take me, like what was going on. I didn't go full crazy right away. And like after like the first second, I was like, man. And then like another second later, I was like, Sam, I got you. And it just starts to come down. Like, yeah.
And of course, you had to record it and put it up on Instagram too.
Oh yeah, it was recorded. It was put on. But it was fun. That is
probably like our most liked Twitter thing I've ever put up, because we have a ton of people who follow us on Instagram. Twitter is not quite as huge, and it's a lot harder to get people to like be excited about stuff on Twitter unless you're like a super celebrity. But yeah, we had like over 100 something likes on Twitter, which is pretty rare for us. So that was pretty cool to see. Everybody stoked to see Rob and Sam arm wrestling over Blood Rage. So
I mean, y'all should have done leg wrestling. Have you ever done leg wrestling?
Are you talking about the Indian leg wrestling where you put your legs up, you try to flip them over,
and you're like one, you like lock, dude. Getting that with like big guys, that is terrifying because we will tear up some. We'll tear up.
Not only even that, we would look like those elephant seals, just like our thighs butting against each other. Ooh, just like our big thighs, just.
Oh man,
they would have to adjust the camera angles, to
roll over myself or Sam.
Yeah, it just gets to a point where you just fold somebody in a taco, and they're like, "Yeah, breathe." You're like, "All right."
It was so awesome to do like a live stream and have like 700 people watching, but it still felt casual where we could just do whatever, we were just acting crazy, doing arm wrestling and doing all sorts of crazy stuff on stream. So it was definitely a blast.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was a blast. And it was super casual too. Like it wasn't, and it was casual. Yeah. Like it wasn't like we had a order and stuff to do, but like everyone was real laid back. Like we had a good time.
So was it hard for you to play games that long, Rob?
No, not at all. No, the thing that actually bothered me the most is like when they were playing Champions of Midgard, like I so badly wanted to like push one of them out of the way and like, you're doing this all wrong.
Oh yeah,
you're supposed to be killing
take
stuff.
Take off the blame, get points.
Like
who cares?
There was one guy who ended up only scoring 37 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Aww.
And I'm like, you lost at like life. Like that's terrible. Like, how do you play Champions of Midgard? And you know what his now he's a Eurogamer. So
that's the opposite of an excuse.
His whole strategy, Matt, was to get the runes. He was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go for runes every time." Yeah, that was the strategy. Oh, these 2 or 3 points every round are gonna add up, buddy. I'm like, you keep thinking that to yourself, because I'm off camera watching them, and it was kind of cool because while they were playing that, I was like the mama bear. I'm bringing them Twizzlers and Pringles and like snacks and drinks. Like, you guys want this, you guys want that. Teaching them rules, but yeah, that was rough. That was the one game like I could have played so much more. But watching them play,
score is above 30 for sure.
Ambi, last time I played Champions of Midgard, I scored 217 points,
which is high. But yeah, normally you go over 100 if you're a good scorer.
Now, I actually scored 238, but it was minus 21 for all the blame I had on me. But
that doesn't count as scoring that many points.
But it does, though, because it's like...
No, it doesn't.
I really reached 238, and then you subtracted it.
No.
So
you're like, yeah, I in my car I drove to 150 miles an hour, but when I got in the car accident, it was just at 134. So I didn't basically die.
150.
Awesome.
Anyway,
yeah, for me, the like we were playing like well into the night, but I was still like, I'm like, let's play games. Like I was there to play games, so I was playing games, and
I was the exact same way.
It was like we weren't playing like every game back to back, so it was like a game on, a game off, a game on, a game off, a game on, a game off.
I could have played every game.
Yeah, I felt like I could have played a lot more, but it was awesome to just be like, okay, cool, I don't have to do anything specific right now. I can go take a break, get something to drink, like chill out for a while, then go back on stream. So it was very relaxing in that way. So it was definitely a ton of fun.
You know what was weird, and I'm not going to mention these people's names, but I can definitely tell that I'm getting older. because like some of the conversations I had with people off screen,
Yeah.
like for those that are fans of the show, you guys know that I recently had a vasectomy, right?
Those who are fans of the show.
Oh, well, because like we talked about.
Are we making T-shirts now about this, Rob?
No, we're not.
Can I make a Twitter account for your testicles?
No, please don't.
Dear Lord, I
tweet
cannot
out
click the
I don't
clean
get on
rating on this
Twitter anymore,
podcast
so I'm
at
not
all,
good at
ever.
it. Never know.
Pretty good today.
But it was weird because it's like I'm talking to other people who also have had children, and I made a
They're
comment
having
like,
the dad
I'm kinda hurt.
conversations.
And all of a sudden we get into us having kids to then us having vasectomies, and like these guys that I was talking with, they had vasectomies as well, and I was like, man, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I'm not having conversations like with this with anybody, and now am I like the young old person now? Am I like the younger of the old people? But now we're talking about, yeah. Kids and vasectomies and paying for education and other stuff like that. Like, man,
talking
I
about
felt really old.
Plans?
What?
Are you talking about 529 plans? You're like, look, I could get a tax-free college savings for my kid.
We actually did talk about school for kids and colleges and stuff like that. Yeah, man, I'm working on this right here and I'm doing this. But yeah, I just felt like, man, I'm the young old guy, or as Adam's putting it, I'm the veteran young guy. It was a great conversation. They're lovely men. We had a good time, but never would I be having that conversation.
Or Adam could make a D&D monster for your.
It's
oh
just
my
two
gosh!
slimes that are like bound together.
What have we become? Oh, nice. Do you think there's anything different about playing games live in front of an audience on the internet?
Not with our group, because I don't care if I get rules wrong and you're watching, and I don't care if I get rules wrong and you're not watching.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person where I just want to play the game and have fun. And we did that. Like, we played the game, and I'm sure if you go back and you watch some of the stuff, we missed things, but we had a blast. And it was great to be able to. What I really enjoyed about playing online, one is I love the chat. I love the talking with people, and I love the interaction. That's why I love us doing chat here on YouTube and stuff with you guys. But I was really proud and I was really thankful to be a part of the marathon. Because like the Dice Tower, they do a lot for board game media. Whether you're fans of them or not, we're on here. And other podcasts and other stuff are on here because of the influence that the Dice Tower has.
Yeah.
Because of what they've done on Board Game Geek and other things like that. And so it was a real pleasure and honor to be a part of that. And so
for sure.
They could have invited a ton of people, and they probably did, and they all said no when we were the suckers that said yes. I don't know, but all I know is we got to be a part of it, and I had an absolute blast. And to put it on camera, the only thing I want to apologize about camera is like, man, as soon as I got home, I started to diet. Like I did. I was like, nope, this is terrible. Like, and I already told my wife, like, and I've been eating better and I've been being more physical and other stuff, but I was like, nope. When it looks like I ate the females that we were playing with, I was like, that's not right. That's not good. Like, it looks like I'm smuggling children around the table, like, who are wrapped around my. It was just terrible. So that was the only negative I have about being on camera, is just pieces of me die every time I watch the video. But it's okay. I'm fine.
I feel like everybody has a hard time seeing themselves on camera most of the time.
That's like, true, but their stripper name would not be Stretch Mark, and my stripper name is Stretch Mark after watching those videos.
Jeez.
So
I
don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely can feel you with the rules mistake stuff, because we started Epic Gaming Night by streaming on Twitch. Like, that's all we did was play live games, and it was a ton of fun. We didn't have tons of people like chatting and stuff. We had some like loyal people who come in all the time. Shout out to Mappy. Old school. No. I'm sure most of the people that used to watch us back then no longer watch us anymore. But it was definitely a ton of fun. But whenever you would save a video on the internet, people would always go back and just be like, "Oh, you got this rule wrong. Oh, you did this wrong. Oh, you did that wrong. Oh, why didn't you do this?" And I'm like, that was 3 years ago, guys. Literally 3 years. It's okay, guys. You don't have to call out every rules mistake. But yeah, it's definitely a ton of fun, and interacting with people while you play the game is always a blast.
Here's another thing. I just want to point this out. Michael Hall, you're saying you've listened to us too long. You just ordered Rhino Hero Super Battle. That was the greatest board gaming decision of your life. Mm-hmm. That really was. And that's one thing that I love about us and our group and our fans. Because, like, we're talking to other people, and they're like, well, I like this dexterity game. And I like this. I'm like, screw you. It's Rhino Hero Super Battle. It's one of the best games. It was my #1 game of 2017. No, but this game, it doesn't matter. Rhino Hero Super Battle is a beast game. I freaking love that game. Like, and that's what I love about, like, when you're playing and Matt has to stand up on a chair to get to the Rhino stuff, and we're doing the Hadouken stuff, and we're all being crazy, and I'm yelling at you, like, that's a fun time, man. That was a blast. So,
I feel like a little bit of it, we showed people how to have fun with games. We're like, me and Rob are coming here, and we're going to have fun, and fun is what we did.
Oh, man. I will say this. Every time we played, we had somebody laughing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We did. I had Tom Vassell. There was a segment where it also involved Jason, but Tom was laughing so hard, he had to get up and walk out because he was just laughing so hard. And Jason has me scared to death, and I'm like, please, why are you getting closer? Why are you getting closer? And there are other times, like from the get-go, we're just like, we had a blast. Everybody, we had a good time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tom was saying beforehand that whenever you're doing these live streams, you're always more boring and less exciting than you think you are.
Not us.
And I said, well, everybody always says I'm way too excited and need to calm down when I'm doing my videos, which is me compared to Rob. I think Rob can bring that up to an even higher level sometimes. But I think it's like, well, we're like right at still extremely awesome. It's still extremely crazy. So I was like, hey, I might just be normal if I'm live streaming, because everybody always tells me I need to calm down. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
Oh, we had a blast.
Nice. So what
it makes me, and see, the thing that makes me want to go back to Dice Tower Con.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I'm gonna really try to make Dice Tower Con happen, because like this felt like that. It's just like this felt like we were on camera, but we got to play games the whole time, and it had an awesome library, and we're playing games the whole time, and we were getting discounts because of the cool stuffing stuff. So, like, you know, for those that are listening, let's try to do like some type of meetup. If you can make it to Dice Tower Con, I will say out of all the cons I've been to, if you want to play games, Dice Tower Con is the one. And I really, really enjoy that. And so, we need to get together if anybody's going. Gen Con's cool, but it's so crazy, and there's really no room unless you're playing awkwardly in your room, which Secret Hitler was a blast in the room, but that's a different story. Matt, I'll never forget that. He was like, so good. That was so good. And then Brandon, we also played with Brandon Pleshik. Man, I miss that guy.
I do too.
Brandon's such a great guy. But anyway, Dice Tower Con, if you can make it, we need to do something.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a blast. Hi.
So, yeah, we need to get tickets. We need to get a room for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Roy, you need to get on that, bro.
I'm trying. I can't yet. So, yeah, what game would you want to see Epic Gaming Night play live? Bringing it to Epic Gaming Night, what would you think? We used to play games live all the time.
Or even in the chat. What would you guys like us to play live? What about you, Matt?
I don't know. We play games live a lot. The alternative is not pleasurable.
Well, let me ask you this, Matt. What's a game that every time we play together, we always have a good time?
One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
Oh, yeah.
And I say that mostly because I haven't played it in a really long time, and I would love to play it again with a decent-sized group of people.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think a lot of social games are pretty fun.
Have you played Crossfire yet, Matt?
No.
What?
Man, I really like One Night, but what I love about Crossfire, it brings in the elements of One Night, but it's different. Where it's like you're talking because you know what people have. You get to see 3 cards at the end of the day, and you may have a different card the whole time, and you may not. And so you're doing the bluff thing, but not the bluff thing. Where in One Night Ultimate Werewolf, once you figure something out, you can kind of get them. But this, it's
and in One Night Ultimate Werewolf, some people can just have no information.
Pass it again. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome.
Everybody gets a little bit of information in Crossfire, so everybody can kind of be useful to the investigation of where everything is. But it's definitely a blast.
I do want to play Magic Maze Dart. That will happen. I do have that game. I'm excited to get it to the table.
I did a review of Crossfire right after Gen Con. So because I played it a ton with Late to the Table and a bunch of the other guys. I played the Board Game Renegades copy at the Seer Cabal meetup. We played like 6-7 times in a row. It was pretty awesome.
Somebody block Mark Cale, please. Somebody just block Mark. Just kick him out real quick.
Nah, man, you don't want to.
Do I need to unmoderate him real quick?
Hey, you know what I'm excited for? And I don't know if you know this, Matt. They are reprinting Strike.
Yeah.
That's always a fun game with people. And it's supposed to have like some new stuff in it or something like that. So,
dude, I haven't played Mountain of Madness yet. Like that's the new game, but it's like a cooperative game, but there's like you get these weird like insanity cards that make you do different weird stuff during the game, but your allies don't know like what's going on. So it's like you could have to like only talk to other people who have their finger under their nose like a mustache or whatever, and you have to get them to do that too or something. It's crazy. I don't know. But still cooperative. So, I don't know.
Hey, Mark, side note, I did get the new expansions also for Ashes. We need to play some more Ashes. Or you need to watch me play with your friends since games with you don't last very long. But we need to be around each other while playing Ashes.
Nice.
Oh man, it was a blast. I'm excited. Are we still going?
We can be wrapping this thing up.
Just like
I'm excited.
Do it more.
Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah, just making more vasectomy jokes, trying to bring it all back around full circle.
We are planning on playing a game of Twilight Imperium. If you guys would like us to stream that live, which I would be capable of doing, let me know. We'll do it and just have the video of us playing.
Oh man. I'm excited. If I get to play TI4 with you guys, I'm just going to attack Mark the whole time. I don't care if it knocks me out in like the second or third round. I'm just going straight for Mark.
Mark, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming up. You're the best.
Hey, here's the thing though, and I told you this before. I actually really like Mark, but I need somebody.
You can't say it too loud. We're still on air, Rob. Shh, shh, shh. Don't let it right now.
You guys, get excited for this Epic Gaming Night D&D. It's going to be a blast.
For real.
I'm pumped. I've already got my character named and a backstory and his age. I already know what kind of character I'm running with. So I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. I got some dark stuff though. It's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows. Got some dark ideas coming.
Nice. So. Awesome, guys. Well, we stream these Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at youtube.com/Epic Gaming Night. Make sure to hit us up over on our Patreon if you'd like to support Epic Gaming Night. We're going to be revamping a lot of stuff over there, adding like goals for people to join us on our new exciting D&D game and things like that. So make sure to check us out at patreon.com/Epic Gaming Night. Also, make sure to hit us up at Epic Gaming Night on Twitter and Instagram. And also check out our stuff on the Dice Tower with our reviews and Favorite Game Friday and our Roy vs. Rob videos. We've got a backlog catalog catalog of those, but make sure to check those out. You can find a lot of that stuff over on our YouTube channel. We have a bunch of playlists there as well if you ever want to like check out a bunch of the stuff we've done in the past. So lots of awesome stuff.
And we're going to have a lot more stuff. A lot more stuff this year.
Yeah, we got lots of stuff in the works and stuff that we're planning on. So super excited. We're starting to come up on our 150th episode. We only got 9 more to go before that happens. So we've been around for a while, guys. It's been pretty crazy.
Oh man, I actually just had an idea that I will discuss with you off podcast, just in case it doesn't happen.
Hype. Awesome, guys. Will you see you guys next time? Thanks, everybody who stopped by chat. You're the best.
Yeah.
Peace.